What's up, everybody? Happy Friday. Welcome back to another Upside Down rewatch. We are now on Stranger Things, Season 2, that episode, and Episode 8. So we're going to have some fun diving into those two episodes. Before I bring on the panel, just a couple things to note. Please do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and helping me get to 1K subscribers by, let's say, end of May. Why not? Tomorrow I have members watch party. We're going to be watching Talk to Me. And then tomorrow as well, chat decreed it yesterday, I'll be doing a reading and sipping of Matthew Lillard's tequila tasting. So it should be a good time then as well. I do have a super chat goal. If I hit it next week, I will do Gothic 11 with the slick back hair and the eyeliner. We'll see. We'll see if it happens. So let's bring on the panel. Hello, everybody, and Zax.
Drink alcohol on stream? Who would do it something like that? God.
It's my first time tomorrow, so it's going to be interesting to see how it works out. And let's see if I can read English. Yeah. See if
I've
I can
heard that
read.
before. Expensive stuff you got there,
right? We'll see. It was gifted to me, so I figured I'd give it a try.
It's cheap and awesome, so.
I haven't tried it yet. It's some sort of tequila, and it's in a black bottle, and it comes with a Mike Flanagan novella that only comes with that. It's the only way you can get it. Yeah. So I figured I'll read it while I'm sipping. We'll see. Should be a good time. How are you guys? What's up? Nothing?
I'm ready. I'm here this time. This time I did manage to get a little sleep before the stream, but this time I didn't get too much sleep before the stream. Yeah, I made it this time. Yeah.
Zax, how are the kitties?
Kitties are good. They're keeping me busy, and they're excellent for content. So I can be a cat channel now. It'll be fine. But yeah, they're great. They're doing good. The dog and them have finally worked out their differences, and they're not like the best of friends yet, but they're getting there. It could be like our dog's like maybe the Han Solo, she still wants her own thing, but she might come back in the end to help with the Death Star. So but they will slowly grow together, and they introduced by my dog catching one of them in her mouth when they tried to jump off the counter, and that was a fun way to get started. So
did you name them yet? Did you guys name them?
Yeah, Scout is the orangey, and that was my son's pick for the name, and then Storm is the darker one, and that was my pick because it's a strong female dark cat. Storm.
They're cute.
Thank you.
Very cute, very cute. You're gonna get a lot of girls that are just like cat videos, and then they go watch an episode of Circle of Jerks, and they'll be like, "What did I walk myself into? What did I get?"
Yes, that's the idea.
How are you, Sketch Blue? How are you guys doing?
I've been being put through the ringer recently. Got a whole episode rescheduled. We're going to shoot a whole brand new one, and then I have to go on a road trip Sunday, so my time is burning.
Oh no, dude! You could take a night off. This would have been the night to take off.
No. You listen to me right now. We've referenced this night for the last how many months now? I'm not backing out of this.
I should have made that. My super chat goal should have been last week so that I would show up at it, but she's still in it next episode as well. So it's all right.
And for what it's worth, at least the work that is coming my way won't need to be done until we get back from the road trip. So I'm not totally locked down yet.
I was so heartbroken. I got the Vader Cup today. This one, the 20th anniversary, but all the popcorn tins were. I checked 3 different malls, all sold out. People, old Star Wars. That's the AMC one. So the AMC was the Vader one, but the popcorn tin that had the Star Wars 20th anniversary logo on it is only Regal. I checked 3 different malls today, all sold out. I'm like, damn, I should have made it last night, but we were talking about Last of Us. But they still had the Vader little thing. So it's cute.
And you just saw Until Dawn today.
Yeah, so I want to hear your opinion, just because my kid played the game. Dad, what's the difference? Is XYZ? He doesn't care about spoilers, and we discussed what game versus movie, and we'll see how you feel about it because you've been playing the game.
And the game has been spoiled for me. I already know what's going to happen in the game and stuff. Yeah. So I'll be very curious to see. Before we get into the episode, And we say hello to our chat. I did want to bring up something that we did share that I did share this week with the group. There was a discussion for a while that they weren't going to do any spin-offs. That's it. Season 5, they're done. They're moving on. But I guess Netflix just announced that Stranger Things will get a fully animated series called Stranger Things Tales from 85.
Huh.
I wonder if this is same characters, side stories similar to the comics that they've written, or completely new.
I forget, what year does the show mainly take place in? Like, is it before or after 85?
During this time, right?
Yeah.
I think season 1 was 83, and then
Right.
2 and 3 are both 85 because they're the second election year for Reagan.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I think 4 was like 86 or 7.
Yeah, because season 1 takes place between November 6th and December 24th of 83.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, go on.
I'm just surprised. I thought they were done. I'm just surprised. But an animation kind of makes sense because the comic books are doing pretty well. So it does make sense. But again, I wonder if we're getting introduced to new characters, or is this where they're going to pick up from this episode that we're going to be
It better
about?
not.
That would definitely be a choice.
Yes.
Yeah, because season 4 is 86. So what the hell's the final season going to be then?
They will never end this series as long as it's getting viewership. They'll find some ways to spin it off.
Yeah.
And merchandise, money and merchandise too, on top of it too.
And if it's good, then fine. If it's good, then that's great.
Yeah.
I suppose. Yeah, but it's isn't the title kind of pointless though as well? If it's Tales from 85, but isn't like the whole show from around the 85 era anyway?
That's why I think it's probably going to be just little side stories. Probably.
Yeah, like so not like one big story, just like each episode is like a different mini cast type of thing.
I could something like that. Maybe we'll get a little bit more of Billy. Maybe we'll get a little bit more of certain characters that we just see briefly. Go ahead, Sketch.
I was gonna say, if it's going out of its way to mention 85, that makes me think that it's focusing primarily on like the interim between seasons 2 and 3.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're
plus too. One thing like you're saying, Nadia, is that if they want to show the kids right now, obviously they can't live action because they're too old. But you could have them come back animated as voice actors to have the kids because cartoons don't age, but people do.
That's a good point. Yeah, that's why I'm thinking they're probably doing little side stories, maybe certain episodes that they just couldn't write in during this time, or storylines they couldn't in. Okay. I just want to bring that up because we've been talking for a couple of weeks now about how, like, no, they're done. They're done. They're not going to, they're done. And now, they're coming back. Hi, Jake. I'm on watch with you, Nadia. Okay. Hello. Yep. Toxic couldn't make it tonight. I hope everything is okay, sir. Hope you're doing all right. Rachel, always. Oh, wonderful. It's eyeliner time. Yes, it is, Rachel. You got to suffer with us. Come on. DJ Play Nice. Hello. Let's see. I think, and then I knew Sins Fish was in here too.
You said fist?
Fish.
Oh,
okay. Fish.
Cinevere's Fish is here.
Cinevere's Fish and Anthony, and then we got Wes. Hello, and Corey. Hey, man. Long time no see. All right, cool. All right. Let's not prolong this death any longer.
I almost didn't make this show tonight because my eyes were rolled so far back in my head after watching this episode that I didn't know if I could actually make a show. Holy crap.
Look,
it's 6 out of 10.
Axel shall illuminate us. He shall carry us through to victory.
Oh my god.
Nadia, this is the only episode in the whole show so far that has that low of a score for a reason.
Yes. Wow, what a shitty episode. Psychic visions draw 11 to a band of violent outcasters and an angry girl with a shadowy past.
That's her. That's the beginning and end of her character.
Yeah.
Slay, queen. Slay.
So this episode is often considered a standalone.
Yeah.
Shocker.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
How often is it considered a standalone? Is it ever not considered a standalone?
diverges from the main Hawkins storyline to focus on 11 as she explores her past and identity. After learning about her mother's history in another lab experiment, 11 travels to Chicago, my hometown, to meet, is it Kayla? Kale? 8, basically. A fellow
Callie.
fellow Hawkins Lab test subject. The episode delves into 11's personal growth, her struggles with belonging, her moral choices, and while introducing a grifty urban setting and a group of misfits led by Kylie, whatever. One character who will never come back.
Oh God.
I'm having a flood of memories about this episode, and none of them are good. You're right, Jake. None of them are good.
I'm impressed that he's got a flood of memories. Like...
Hey, Jenna.
You know, since Toxic is not here, I still got to play this.
Afternoon, ladies.
Afternoon, Billy.
Take the new suit, Mrs. Wheeler.
Thank you.
$1. Hi, Rio. Jenna Banana. What's up, sup boners? There's no BH here tonight, Jana, unfortunately. Sorry to disappoint. Okay, let me pull up the episode and we'll get into it, guys.
God, yeah.
I know. Well, we can go pretty fast through this one. I don't think we need to spend that much time.
Let's marinate in it a little bit. That'll be good.
A little bit.
Yeah, it's like just everything about that whole side mission is horrible. And it's so like 2017, 2018. Oof.
It's right at the peak of just like everything is a cinematic continuous universe, and it's gonna branch off into 20 different angles out of this one thing that was successful. It's like, did we really need a whole extra episode in a season for this?
Well, from a marketing standpoint, from a studio standpoint, if you're going to do a spin-off, then this episode makes sense. But the fact that they didn't follow through with the spin-off, this episode makes no sense in having here because these characters never come back unless they're coming back for season 5.
The first thing I think of is like a lot of like anime series, they'll do like their main story, but then they'll take like side like stories like this, they'll spin them off into like an OVA episode and just have it like be like its own standalone thing, completely separate.
Yeah. So what that allows you to do is, sorry, were you gonna say something, Nadia? Okay.
No.
It's like what that allows you to do is that allows you to sort of experiment a little bit with the kind of things that you can set up. So this episode, if it was good, could have set up a really interesting plot line. The problem is that it didn't. But the good part is that because it was a standalone episode where 11 just went to a completely different town and did her own adventure, they could basically pretend it didn't happen when she goes back into the show. It's one of those little safe experiments type of thing. So it's that kind of filler episode. It could have been good. If the setup itself was actually good, then it could have been like an interesting little plot that follows through the seasons. But I think after season 3, after the end of the season, they would have looked at the ratings, realized this was probably the weakest one, and thought, right, let's not bring them back in the later seasons.
Yeah, I feel like you could just remove this episode out, and you can still have a good season with this. You just know back of your head that 11 was so 11 after her visions of her mother Terry in episode 5 hitchhikes to Chicago to find Kayla, whatever the fuck,
Callie,
another girl from the
name.
Thank you. Kali from Hawkins Lab. So this is the opening part where she's being told about it. Go ahead, Zach.
This will cook, but following what you said, the Duffer Brothers considered pulling this episode. I just read that just before the show. So they considered at the time not using this at all, just pulling it from the season. And they left it in because they thought it was important still to have a bit of an arc there for 11 that was there, and it was worth putting up with the rest to do it, but they almost pulled it themselves.
See, I'm in the mood, like I'm at the point like, okay, was there a way that they could have made this work? And the only answer I keep coming up with is the stuff with 11 trying to find her mom is worth keeping around, but when it's attached to the whole Callie sideline, that's where the problem starts. Like you probably could have like interspersed 11 finds her mom across the other 8 episodes and it would have been totally fine.
Yeah, because I don't know. I again, I think this is studio interference, in my opinion, of keeping this thing in here like because they were thinking of building some kind of, like you said, cinematic universe of this. It just doesn't make sense. And again, maybe it will. Maybe they'll bring it back. Maybe they'll at least bring her back for season 5.
Do you guys think
Who
placement's
knows?
an issue? Because you figure like right now, okay, we've already got established where now Hopper has been under there. We have the situation with Bob and like how everything's spreading, the whole Mind Flayer. This is we're waiting to see what's going to happen with the finale with the Mind Flayer, but we're 7 episodes in. Had this been like episode 2, would have been better received because like at that point you didn't build up to the finale. This is basically the finale, and like give us a side mission at the finale.
I see what you say, because episode 4, right? We're on episode 6 should have been episode 7, leading to 8 and 9 versus this one. I don't think they need this at all for having even for having 8 episodes or 9 episodes. I don't think they needed this. If this was a 22 episode series, yeah, okay. Sure, why not? Fill it like you were saying backstage, like Supernatural. Yeah. But this doesn't make sense with the allotted time that they have for each season.
Yeah.
No. And really, like, this looks like corporate casting at its best to get this completely diverse group of people together who have almost no charisma, and will force this into being a series or a spinoff, maybe even just a spinoff movie, but whatever. That's what it was, and that group, from what we saw, had no chemistry and zero charisma.
Yep.
Can we just get like an establishing shot of all of them, like a wide shot of all of them? I can't remember any of their names. Like, what a questionable group.
This episode, I just, normally we go through by beat of what's going on, but I don't even think it's important to bring up the fact, okay, now 11's aunt was on the phone with somebody because they're talking about the other kids and she's just trying to find help. 11 overhears her and decides to run off and go to Chicago and find them on her own. And she gets to Chicago pretty easily.
Somehow she knows where it is.
Oh, wow. That's a really good shot right there.
My face when I watch this episode be like...
Vex. Vex. Zach says master the camera angles able to fit in those shoulders in one frame.
Thanks, Vex.
What do you got? Hold on, let me remove.
You asked for a group shot, so if you want it, you don't have to use it. But
no, I got it. There you go.
Delightful.
Yeah, what a group! What a naturally occurring group that would be, right?
They all look like they're going to an 80s party. That they're not in the 80s, that they're all going to an 80s party. Like they're going to an 80s Halloween themed party. Night Vex. Sleep tight.
I think that just the idea behind the group was have them be weird. You know what I mean? Like have them be outcasts. And so they just kind of made them look unsociable, if that makes any sense.
They went for like a punk rock look on half of them, and the other ones looked like just like bums.
Yeah, the girl on the right, whatever her name is, right? Is there ever any part of the episode where she's not chewing gum? Like her entire thing, she chews gum. That's whoever is she? What does she do?
That's her character, I guess.
Yeah, she's in every scene. She's always chewing gum. Yeah, sat there like
They tried to pull it. They were clearly inspired by They Live. She's supposed to kick ass and chew gum. Unfortunately, they forgot the part where she has to kick ass.
Yeah, that's what it's one episode. And I feel like there's too many characters because there's just none of them. The black guy, what's his name? Funshine or something like that.
I didn't even realize it was Funshine. I thought it was Sunshine the whole time.
Oh yeah. It's his quirk is that he looks like a big. Well, he is a big guy. He looks like a big guy who's like dead intimidating, but he's really nice. And you're like, yeah, but he doesn't do anything that's really nice, and he doesn't even do anything that's intimidating. He's just there.
And they're old. These guys are old. It's like their grooming gang.
Yeah.
Like.
And
hold on, I'll mute it for him. The power of mute.
Yeah.
Later, Jenna.
Bye, Jenna. I hope you feel better, girl.
Yeah.
I do. Someone owes me feet pics in here. Who does? Kata. Crazy. Hello, I don't know what you're watching, but based on that picture, it's terrible. Stranger Things, welcome to the suffrage of this episode. We've got to get through it.
You know what's funny? That person's name is Cal 9000, very similar to Callie.
Yeah.
Listen, no one can bat 100, okay? when you spend that much time on the top, you're gonna get caught slipping at some point. Just like this. My reaction to this episode, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, Axel's my favorite because he's just the one that like he's what's the word? I feel like my order of preference is Axel, probably Funshine, then probably Carly, just because she at least does something in the episode, and then either
you can remember her name. The other two
Yeah.
you can't. The other two
Yeah.
like, who are you?
and then and then there's the black girl that kind of looks like a really B-Tech Domino from Deadpool 2, like the actress who plays Domino.
I swear,
Do you know what
when I rewatch, I'm like, isn't that the actress who played Domino? Or did they just give her a hairstyle to make her look like it? Like, because those came out around the same. Like, oh, did this like lead into her getting cast for? I'm like, nope. I'm just tripping.
Imagine playing Domino and then playing this like she played Domino in Deadpool 2. Let's get her to play this character that does nothing. You're like,
They actually have a van too. Like they're in a van. The whole thing is it's rough. It's rough.
It's like taking candy from a baby kind of situation. I did put a poll in the chat. Whose power would you want? Would you want the telekinesis power of 11 or the, I guess, illusion creation of 8? Callie, so there you go. So 11 tracks down Kylie in a warehouse where she lives with a punk-like outcrew. So we got Axel, Dottie, Mick, and Funshine. Callie, who's the ability to manipulate perception, that's her ability, reveals that she is a test subject. She's number 8, while 11 is her sister. But by, I guess, trauma bonding?
Yeah.
None of this shit makes sense.
None of
it makes sense.
No.
None of it makes sense.
As a power, say for instance, she did go with 11 back to Hawkins. That ability can be very useful in so many situations.
That's why I'm wondering if they're going to bring her back for season 5 for the all-out like battle that they're going to have. Because I would assume she would have.
Especially like somebody who can bend reality. Just imagine if, like, say she fought a demigorgon and like she could disorient it to think and see whatever she wanted to. Like she could be useful if they would have used her.
I thought it was she ended up playing a big part in like getting the Mind Flayer control of her will removed.
So there's so many possibilities with that ability, and I like the fact that it's like she's not just carbon copying Levin's power, so it is showing that every kid has a different ability, which you could have done so much with that concept.
Yeah.
That's interesting because like when they used the shack to kind of make Will feel like doesn't know where he is, her abilities would come into play there too. She could change his entire environment to kind of throw off the Mind Flayer, similar to what they were doing. But instead, we get, I don't know, 80s rock band, not even an 80s rock band, punk band.
Yeah, they don't even all have powers. They were pretty clear about that. That like they're all just.
It's only Kaylee. It's only Kaylee. Yeah, Kaylee. It's only her because she's the only one. Kaylee was accepted by them because she's a misfit. You know, she's not normal, so she's got to be accepted. I don't know where I'm going with this, guys. I really hate this fucking episode. I really do. I don't think it works in the series. I don't think it works in the season. And you know what? This probably would have been a better if they wanted to do a spin-off. This would have been better to maybe utilize that over there instead of actually placing it in the main series. So,
yeah, do you reckon it would have been better? Because when they tried to introduce Carly Yada, biblically accurate dustboard, I actually don't know that reference, so I'm going to let somebody else laugh at that.
All right, I can break that one down. There was a game from last year that followed like a punk rock band, like basically like Antifa guys, basically as they like toured across like wherever they are, causing commotion and being like, burn the system down.
Okay, no, fair enough. I'm waiting for Sketch to defend this episode. Well, we're waiting.
I'm just gonna strangle myself. Goodbye, everyone. Here's my defense. Here's my defense.
Sketches in defense of season 3. People think it's this season. It's sketches in defense for the next one. That's where he's
I've been on record since we started saying that I thought this was the averagely the weakest of the seasons. This has been my position since day one. Yeah. What do you mean?
Too late.
This is some revisionist history if I've ever seen it.
Absolutely. That's the best kind of history.
All right, I'll see you on Tucker Carlson later. Have fun.
Yeah.
Do you think it would have been better if instead, if we, like, as much as I know I was just saying that, like, I prefer, like, Axel is the best out of the group. Do you think it would have been better if they just got rid of, like, most of the group and they just had it be like Carly, like 11 just finds Carly. There's no group, and Carly is the one who's trying to hunt down these scientists. And you just get rid of all these extra characters that are doing absolutely nothing, and because I feel like when Carly has her introduction scene, she speaks before she's actually seen, and then it's like they're trying to set her up as this, like, really intimidating, like, mastermind who's in everyone's heads, and then it shows you her, and there's no intimidation. There's just, you realize, oh, it's like a however year old woman, girl, whatever. Mm-hmm. You're like, it's.
I don't think they needed to just skim it down just to her. To be honest, she takes away from 11. She doesn't, having her in the series doesn't make 11 as special as she's been established to be. So, and I just don't care for her. I mean, no shade to the actress, but some of the weakest acting I've seen in this entire series so far on it. The whole group of them. And it just doesn't fit. It doesn't fit. It feels icky almost, this episode.
Check this out, Nadia.
What did you? Oh no! What did you?
This is the actor who played Funshine. He's a monster. He's an absolute monster.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
He could have been the Mind Flayer.
No kidding.
No, they should have sicked him on the Mind Flayer.
That's unreal.
And it doesn't make sense to take the show out of Hawkins. Just doesn't make sense. Even for one night to take it to Chicago, it just doesn't feel like it mixes well with what's going on. I don't know how to convey it even better, but it just doesn't work for me.
The whole tone and vibe, like the whole appeal of Stranger Things was like this. Well, it was like this, the 80s little small town environment that, like, everyone could sort of relate to. There was, I mean, as I say, everyone could relate to. I wasn't really born in that era. I'm not gonna lie, guys. I've really just snuck into the I really just snuck into the podcast. Nobody really vetted me on this. There you go.
Look, Toonie, the word you're looking for is relatable. Everyone can kind of be like, hell yeah, I remember that growing up. But, like, this, you know what it is? It's literally, this is like an Aisha Carr kind of, like, they went on, like, the Stranger Things Reddit page and found out her number's 11, that there's like be like 10 other ones. What happened to them? They're like, that's a great idea.
I think, Nadia, you nailed it, though, because if you think about this episode and the Carly character is interesting, and if they had only had her come to Hawkins to find 11 or to try to get revenge in that area, you need her with the rest of the group and see how she fits in. You have her go off in the sunset, and you could bring her back later. You didn't need to introduce us to all this entire group in a different city, different location, different cast, and that was only, I'm sure, to try to create some kind of a spin-off. And that's just like cynical for me to actually try to do that when they could have brought her into Hawkins, like you said. Hawkins is where this show is. That's the world.
Yeah, because there's no threat. There's no threat in Chicago. There's no threat of the Upside Down. There's no threat of anything. So, and I understand they're trying to maybe give 11 a story arc here because she hasn't really been used very much in this season, other than like seeing flashbacks and learning about her stuff. It's mostly been the other group, right? Because she's supposed to stay away. But it just, I don't know. It just doesn't feel right. Like I said, to be out of Hawkins for this.
It also just like, it's because it comes at the expense of her relationship with finding her mother first and foremost. Like that's the whole reason she goes here in the first place.
Before we continue, I just want to say, fuck you, Kata. You rated to the wrong fucking show. Jerk.
What did he do?
Wait, I'm lost.
I was on New Black Street earlier, being a guest. Making jokes, and he's like, I'm gonna raid into your Stranger Things thing. Great. He just sent a message. He's like, I raided into the wrong channel.
Maybe it was something to do with your jokes. Maybe it was something to do with your joke. Like, what did you say? Did you?
Nah, that's between Kata and I.
Raided somewhere else to get those ankle feet pictures.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to upload that clip you sent me, Zax, just to have ready when he shows up in my chat.
Okay. Yeah, you get him. Get him.
Anyway, as you can see, I don't even want to fucking talk about this stupid episode. Okay. Bonding and training. So Kayla, whatever, teaches 11 to channel her anger to amplify her telekinesis power. They bond over shared trauma from the lab, and the crew accepts 11 as one of their own.
How are you going to convince me that calamari over here?
Toxic. That's dirty, man. We don't take shots at people like that. We don't do that. You don't do that to one of my best friends, man. I'm banning you now. Hold on. I'm you know what? Continue, guys. Continue. Continue.
I do know. Yeah.
Okay. Never mind.
No, I was just going to say that I love how they tried to sell it off that like this little like preteen calamari girl was able to recruit all these misfits to join her cause.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say like upcoming the premise of like I did like at least from visual standpoint seeing her move an entire train car, but also we are in episode 7 so far. 11 besides like getting pissed off at Hopper, she hasn't tapped into her power at all. So you would say like any kind of ability, had she been training the entire year, like her powers will be pretty weak because she's not using them at all. In which something that the show could be lacking because 11 still is their only weapon against the Upside Down. And her powers are objectively pretty fucking weak because she's not using them. So she should be using them constantly to build up her whatever she can do.
Yeah. How would we improve this episode besides just removing it and making it Hawkins? Like, is it right? Like what Zach says, we should just have had her sister come looking for her in Hawkins and remove the rest of the crew. Should this episode just not exist?
Well, you have her come to Hawkins. How do you get 11 back there after she finds her mom to meet her?
And you know what, Sketch, you're right. It takes the impact of her finally meeting her mother this season away with this stupid fucking episode.
Here's the other part about that train that stands out to me about Callie. Everything about her character is just meant to be bitter and resentful and based on like trauma. Like she motivates 11 to move the train because of like the actions taken on her by Brenner and her frustrations with Hopper. But then it's just like, but she's also got plenty of like good memories now with her group of friends. And maybe if you'd established like she finally found her mom and knows like who her family is, you could have built it like you could turn it into like a story like she has something worth fighting for now, and that's what motivates her instead of just I'm angry
all the time about everything.
Yeah.
So like,
I'm just saying. Go on.
No, go ahead, Tooney. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, just Axel's actor, man. He's understood the assignment. He was told to play this character, and he just does.
You know what? Actually, instead of the whole crew, instead of just having to be little calzone girl over here, make it 2 kickers. Keep her and Axel. Axel can be like the Logan to her X-23, like guiding her back to Hawkins the whole time. How about that?
Yeah.
Oh,
he's a plant. He's a plant. He's a fed.
Or
he's
a lab.
He's an agent for Owens to get her back. There you go.
Yeah. So there's a revenge mission. The group hunts down former lab employees who harmed them. They track down Ray, a lab technician, to his apartment. Kayla, whatever, uses her powers to terrify him, and 11 pressures to kill him. She hesitates and notices Ray's daughter in the photo, ultimately spares him, rejecting Kaylee's vengeful path. Kaylee. I don't fucking care because we're not going to talk about this character after this because she's gone.
Pretty much.
She's done, pretty much.
Bye, Felicia.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what Tales of 85 will be about.
That's what I'm thinking. That's what I was saying. And Zax is like, better fucking not.
You better fucking
not.
But like,
I dare you to do it. Do it.
Yeah.
Do it.
See
what happens. See what happens.
I think it would have been interesting as an added layer to have her come to Hawkins, and then you could bring it up later. And if you wanted to do a spinoff show, do a spinoff show and don't connect them at all. You could have done a pilot episode of these losers in Chicago if you wanted to, and see how it goes. But you didn't have to waste an entire episode of a 9 episode season of a show that people love on something that's like on a possible spinoff. And see, it's just like. That's kind of shitty. This is like you guys already said, like it's not a 22 episode season. It's only 9 episodes, and it's years between them. So
And that's the funny part, Zach, is you could have made this, in theory, take this out, it would have been 8 episodes. So this is only not, it's only 9 episodes because of this episode.
You're right.
Yep.
Yeah, we're uneven this streaming season because of this.
We're asymmetrical, and I don't like it.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like all the arcs are here with her mother and her meeting her faux sister right there. You could have sprinkled that into like 5-minute sequences during the rest of the season to shave this down to 8 episodes.
Again, I think they probably wanted to do something with 11 because she's not so impactful in this season until the ending because of the storyline of trying to keep her safe, trying to keep her hidden and stuff. We spend more time with the other crew and Hopper than we do with her the entire season.
Yeah.
So I get it. They want to kind of like focus on her and give a little bit of her. But to be honest, I would rather maybe a better episode about her coming back into the fold. Yeah. Maybe instead of just being the person to save them at the last minute. You know,
that's what I'm saying. And like I would have preferred at some point they show her just slowly exercising and building her abilities where she's like, hey, I'm here and I'm back to full power. Like that's not how it works. Even any kind of fantasy, the X-Men are constantly training and they're mutants, but like any kind of the watching Star Wars, Jedi are constantly training. You know, her powers will be weakened as hell right now because it's been like a year and a half.
Yeah.
I've also like just thinking more about this hypothetical, like how you make this work where like she comes to Hawkins, like what her motivation being like she's come back to Hawkins because at that lab are all the files on like other like kids who were there.
Yeah.
Given like what we know now, like retrospectively, and like what happens like in season 4 and what they set up as having happened, maybe she's going back to like find files on like other cases across the USA of like similar labs to try to find like other like potential like psychics or something like that, and then that leads into the whole like spin-off shows like road trip every episode somewhere else,
right? And that's the one static location we have is Hawkins and the lab, so anyone who's anywhere else knows that's the one place to go check things out at. To go wander through Chicago is a different deal entirely and run into your sister there.
Not to mention though, like 11 goes to Chicago. At the end of the episode, she tries to find Mike, and that's when she spies in on them when like the whole stuff at the lab is going down. And when you think about where she ends up, like how much distance she had to travel between when she saw that, there's how close. This is not close to Chicago, so this makes me wonder. Like how long did the events of the next episode actually go on for?
It depends on where she is in Indiana, because like, let's say she's in closer to Indianapolis, they're probably like 3-4 hour bus ride. So if we're closer to the southern part of Indiana, it's a little bit longer. If they're in the northwest Indiana, it's like an hour drive. So it just depends on where they fictionally think Hawkins is on the map. Rex, what does this question mean? Oh, sorry. Poll question means: would you rather have telekinesis 11's powers, or Kayla, who's the character who's introduced in this episode 8, who has more like she can change perception. I think Scarlet Witch, she can kind of change things around her. Anyway, that's a really bad way to explain it. Anyway, go ahead, Sketch.
I was just gonna say, it's like that means that like that means at minimum the bus ride for her to get back to Chicago and arrive where she does at the end of episode 8 is like at minimum 2 hours, right? That means the whole crew was stuck in that siege against like the Demodog horde for at minimum 2 hours. Probably closer to like 6 if you're being honest.
Yeah, I would say my imagine is that so 11 and 8 are people. Yes, they are. They're characters. You know what, Rex? Thank you for stopping by, man. It's Stranger Things. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate you, man. Thank you for being in the chat. So 11 and 8 are people. Yes, they are. They are. 11 is on screen. This is 11. She's one of the main characters of the show. I saw Justin in here too.
I did like the fact. Remember, in the previous season, all she did was like lift a van. Whatever this train car was way bigger and heavier than a van, so it should be saying that she is, but she should be getting a lot fucking stronger because this thing's pretty goddamn heavy.
Yeah.
I don't even know where we're at. That's how little I care about this one.
Yeah,
she's training the Force.
It's my show, and I just don't care.
We're just trying to fill an episode here. None of this matters.
Yeah.
I love how the description of the episode, the description of Carly from the episode is just an angry girl. Like I can't be asked. Nobody can be asked.
I wonder if she knows Carly from Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Oh no!
Right?
Oh yes.
Perfect. It all lines up.
We're putting a team together.
Oh no.
Eight
I love it.
hours never to sleep. Need sleep again, and I'll take it.
So basically, become like a D&D elf. You don't sleep, you just meditate.
Yeah.
Isn't that technically Lord of the Rings elves as well? Like they don't actually sleep and dream. They just sort of like daydream while standing up straight.
They all kind of come from the same lineage, like heritage fiction.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, D&D is the same way. You don't have to take a long rest for things. I will say, I will give credit to this episode. It is well shot. Cinematography is pretty well done here, even being in Chicago. And it looks almost placed different too, but still well done. I don't know, with whatever filters and colors they've been using. Yes, Chris, King Steve's not in this episode, my guy. I'm sorry to tell you this. But he does. But we got a lot to talk about in the next episode. All right, I'm rolling through, guys. You tell me where you want to stop. I'm just kind of just keep going through.
Yeah.
If anyone else has anything to get off their chest, I'm done on this.
This part right here, this is terrifying. Just showing how powerful, because she's torturing the shit out of this guy, and like just this kid, man. But also, we do see that Dr. Brenner is maybe still alive.
That's true.
I mean, it's possible, but what do you really have to go on that he is alive? Is it when the mind games woman is in the room? Can you really use that as evidence? You know.
I don't want you to read my face. Toonie, have you watched beyond this point?
But I've watched these 2 episodes ready for the show, but I haven't watched the seasons. If that's what you're asking.
So you're watching it each week as we go for the first time.
Well, not for the first time. So after season 2, I've watched like episode 1 or 2 of season 3 like years ago, but I don't really remember them. But basically, season 3 onwards, it'll be for the first time.
Okay. All right. All right.
Well then.
No spoilers. No spoilers for him right now. Okay.
Okay.
No spoilers for him. Can we all agree that season 2 sucks? No, it has its merits. It has its merits. It has its merits. There's some...
not as good as season 1.
I don't know.
It sucks.
Zax, why'd you follow up that with a question?
Explain yourself. All right, enough about me defending myself, Zax.
Sketch loves it. Sketch loves this season. It's his favorite season ever. It's not as good as season 3, but he still loves it.
Of course. All right, defend yourself, Zax. Explain.
I will say this is probably because they originally didn't think they were going to do past season 1. So this probably was rushed. It feels a little rushed versus season 3 and 4, which is a little more planned out, and probably 5.
Yeah.
So this does feel right, but there are some merits.
Well, I do think that if you took the season and started editing stuff down, like obviously adding the Mind Flayer, having stuff like 11 right here, her power's growing. There's definitely obviously Bob. Everyone loves Bob. Like there's a lot you could have done with this season.
Everyone does love Bob. That's true.
See,
see, there you go.
I guarantee you. I mean,
Bob was season 2. I'll give you Bob. I'll give you Bob Sketch.
Yeah, I mean, if you took 9 episodes, I guarantee the right editor could shave this down to 6 episodes and make it way tighter.
100%.
Is that Lily Singh?
And if you really wanted another 3 episodes, imagine what you could do with 9 episodes if you had that writer.
Well, I'm just saying it's
just a reminder, if I do hit my tier super chat for tonight, this is how I'll come next week. I'll slick back my hair. I need that super chat money so that I can buy enough gel to slick all this back. So
you need enough gel to be in the show. They call it bitchin', but then you also just need to give yourself like Callie's like JD Van size.
Yeah, yes, and then with the dark. So just FYI on it.
So Matthew Modine came back.
Our big baddie.
Even put the nice suit on and everything.
That's a pretty good shot too, I will say. The lighting's pretty well. I like the red, almost like a warning sign. They're in danger.
It fits well with the city aesthetic, like in Chicago. It contrasts like Hawkins.
I fucking don't care about these folks. All right, you know what? We'll get to the best part. The best part is when she's alerted that her friends need help, so she can fucking leave Chicago. That's the best part. That's the best part of this whole episode. I love Stranger Things, but this is the best part.
So here's a $1 billion question. She sees that they're in trouble, right? She says that she has to go get them. Callie doesn't want her to go. Would Callie have let her leave if the cops hadn't busted in and forced them to flee?
Probably not. They all don't. They all come off to me as not morally correct individuals. There's a little bit of selfishness to the whole group, and I feel like Callie finally finding her sister, it would be very hard for her to just let her walk out the door easily without either going with her or keeping her with the group.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if I even have anything to comment on that. I don't think so.
Yeah. So this is the best part, guys. So we've talked about Ray's apartment. We talked about 11 glimpses at Mike and the others in dangers. If you remember the last episode, the gate bursted open and the demodogs crawled out, and then we get this episode. So she's seeing that in real time and what's going on, and realizing that maybe she should get her ass back to Hawkins to help them out, or all of her friends, her surrogate parents, and her boyfriend here is gonna out. So that's where we're at. I know, guys. Chat. You guys are so patient because this episode sucks. So I know you guys have to have a lot of patience for it. So I got this. Okay. This episode is polarizing among fans due to the departure from the main cast and Hawkins setting. The gritty urban Chicago backdrop and Kayla's punk crew contrast with the show's usual suburban tone, given its distinct, almost experimental feel. While some appreciate the deeper look into Eleven's character, the expansion of the Lab's lore, which, by the way, I don't think this is a deeper look into her character. I think this is just, you learn a little bit more about 11, but she's the same kid as she is. I don't see a difference. I don't see a learning besides the power abilities. Other find it disconnected from the season's core narrative. Kaylee's introduction sets up potential future arcs.
Yeah, as we said with 11, she's definitely gotten stronger, but you could implement into any part of this entire season.
Yep. And this poor old lady sitting next to her trying to, and this kid does not want to talk to her at all.
Yeah, just try to make sure the kid gets home safe. Just make conversation and all that, and just not having it. Yeah. Can I just say how much I hate political? Sorry, you were gonna say something, Nadia?
No.
Oh, no. Sorry. I hear the deep inhale, and I'm like, oh wait.
Oh, sorry.
No. I just hate like political movie language sometimes. Like when you're saying stuff you reading out like a review or something before about oh, this episode was polarizing among fans, and you're like, when they say that, they're talking about how it wasn't polarizing. People didn't like it. People hated it. Season 1 was polarizing because it was so good, everyone loved it. Like, what? I just hate the language people use about stuff sometimes. You know what I mean? Just to try to avoid saying what they actually mean. I hate.
Well, this is also 2017 when this episode was released too, and we were at the height of debauchery with how people have to label every single thing or find issues with every single thing. Yes, toxic. We already covered that earlier, sir. If you were here,
I'm looking at the trivia page. I'm looking at the trivia page. That's one of the little things that it's got listed there. It's the
lowest rated episode of the whole series.
It's like, hi, you don't say.
Yeah.
Before I take it off screen, does anybody want me to go to any particular scene in this episode before we give final thoughts on this episode, and let's move on to the one of the finale?
I could, but I don't want to. Get me out of here.
Okay. All right. I'll final thoughts. Sketch while I pull up the next episode. Actually, final thoughts. Go around. Be on your best behavior. I have to be. I'll be right back.
Playing Bon Jovi.
No.
There you go. She's a little runaway.
I don't know. Is everyone in the same order on the screen, for everyone? So is it Sketch, Dax, and then me?
I assume so.
This ain't a professional setup. Come on.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Listen, this is a free for all here. You gotta assert yourself as take command of the stream and the conversation.
Okay.
Sketch gives it an 8. So
yeah. Great, Zach's irate, great bait, not to be irate, but irate, 8 out of 8.
there you go, 8s.
Is that
across the board, obviously.
So give it a 2.5.
Whose scale is that? Like the IGN scale, or
no? This is the Robert Ebert scale. Everything is a 7.
Right. Okay. No. Right. Okay. I was gonna say, it's the lowest score you can give something a 7. Okay. All right.
No. The man just in his heyday of film critique just loved giving things like 7s.
Yeah. No,
For some reason, like
No,
he hated Rob Schneider. One time Rob Schneider's like, he's like, I don't know why you hate me for it, bro. Like he would give all of his movies 1 out of 4s and shit, and half a
He's
star.
He's like, I love everyone except you. You can go fuck yourself.
I'm back.
I'm
back.
This is a thumbs up guy. How do you do like a 7 out of 10 thumbs up?
Well, remember Zach? I used to read Roger Ebert like on his website or in a paper. He would have like the like him and Cisco were thumbs up on TV, but his editorials would be a 1 out of 4 system, so 0 out of 4, 4 out of 4. But so it's different when he was rating his solo stuff.
You shouldn't read, so like avoid that in the future.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to figure out like how in the world, I guess it averages out to a 6 on IMDb. I'm like, how on earth does that average to a 6? That's not right.
Did anybody try to kill my channel while I was gone?
No. We like your channel.
Zach's committed multiple hate crimes, so he'll be
I
in jail
figured.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
Did you? What's the guy that flashed everybody on FNT one time?
Gavin.
Yes. Did you pull a Gavin again?
Maybe. Check the replay to find out.
Yeah. Reading low T activity for sure.
Yes,
Yep.
don't read.
It's a female thing. It's a female thing.
It's for women only.
Women only.
And they can read to you, and that's okay.
See, that's
Like
why
tomorrow.
That's why Zach's never watched all of Star Wars. It starts with reading. He's not going to sit through that.
No.
I figured my reading stream, I will raid right into your circle of jerks tomorrow.
Okay.
We'll set it up that way. All right. Did we go around giving final thoughts, or did we just bullshit while I was?
This whole hour has been final thoughts. Let's get out of here. Let's get back to Hawkins already.
Okay. All right. So we are now in chapter 8. Mind you, there are 9 episodes this season, so this is one of the final arc, the 2.
This is the penultimate.
Yeah, this is the chapter called The Mind Flayer. An unlikely hero steps forward when a deadly development puts the Hawkins Lab on lockdown. R.I.P. Bob. We're definitely gonna put some R's in the chat for Bob. Trapping Will and several others inside. So, all right, let's pull it up. Let's go.
The Mind Flayer.
The Mind Flayer.
That's such a badass name. I love it. That's another banger on like pulling the D&D references.
Yeah. Look, Hopper is just a hater, man. He's just a hater.
This is just man. So the episode opens up with the aftermath of the Demodog attack on Hawkins Lab. The faculty in chaos, power outages, dead scientists. Well, it's going to lead open to that. So the opening is in Hawkins, and Will is possessed by the Mind Flayer at this point, too, as well.
Yeah, it's to the point where he can't even get like a word in himself. He's not even. I mean, we'll find out later how he's able to communicate, but he's not really able to communicate in any other way himself. Now it's all the Mind Flayer looking through his eyes.
Right there, Mother of God.
Mother of God.
Then later on, the other guy's like Mother Mary and Joseph, like has a spout and all the.
They all got done watching the last episode.
Yeah. Can I just say, it takes them way too long to get out of this room in a minute. Like, the glass is, like, practically broken by the time they're like, okay, we need to get everyone out. You're like, really?
That's like the whole horror trope, too. Hey, it's polycarbonate. They can't break through the glass. They cannot break through it. We're safer here. Yeah.
Even still, like, you see them start to attack it. How did you not build, like, a security system with just, like, flamethrowers aimed at this thing in case something comes to, like, oh, the glass is under attack.
Yeah. Well, they had them. They all went into the hole and died in the other episode.
That's all their flamethrowers, of course.
Yeah.
That's all the budget that the federal government gave them, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Damn you, USAID.
I will say, I think finally Hopper in this episode realized that Doc over here is actually on the side of good for them instead of bad. So I think this finally, and I think the audience, this is the final, like, so he wasn't trying to screw them over or something.
Yeah, especially by the end, well, not the end of this sequence. We'll see.
Dr. Owens.
We got it. We got it 2 episodes before when he's like refuses to sacrifice Will.
Yes.
We got before, but now this is like, in case you had any doubt that this guy is on our side, here you go.
Yeah.
All the R's in the Justice for Bob, man. Yep. It's coming. It's coming.
Look at that.
I cried again when I saw it today. I was like, oh no, because it unexpected. It actually, even though I knew it was coming, I completely forgot how it happened, at what point.
When it happens, I've got things to say. I'm not happy about the way it was done.
Oh,
R.I.P. for Bob.
Yeah,
That's right here. It's like, Will, we got to pin him down. He's a spy. No, I'm not. I'm not a spy. The Mind Flayer isn't taking me over. No, trust me.
Who am I? Who am I? Mom?
Yeah, it's like mom question mark. Like, correct me if I'm wrong. Do I
Yeah.
get 3 guesses? Like,
Well, even though he guessed right, she is his
you
mom.
can tell.
She
She can
knows.
tell.
She could tell.
Yes.
Off the bat, 100%.
Yeah, everyone could tell immediately. It didn't matter what answer he was going. He was done from the start.
Yeah.
He was rigged.
I like that. She's the one who takes the syringe and actually like knocks him out with it.
Yeah, a lot of the times they'll do that thing where one of them's hysterical, and someone's got to hold her back while something happens, and you're like, no, she's the one that took the initiative on it in this one.
Bob also explains the Mind Flayer hive mind control in this episode of the Demodogs and Will, linking it to the D&D monster. The group realizes the Mind Flayer is using Will as a spy and must isolate him. That's later on in this episode, though. With it. Oh, this episode just so... I don't know what it is. I like this series, but their season finales, their last 2 episodes, always hit it out of the park. Even this really bad... Even if season 2 is the worst out of all of them, episode 8 and 9 are still good episodes. You're still on the... waiting for things to happen.
That's why I said the right person can edit this. Like, damn sure make a better version if you change some stuff up.
Yeah, I love the Resident Evil like horror sequence stuff, like especially this when they show the cameras.
Yeah.
You can see. Tell me these things don't remind you of lickers from Resident Evil 2.
Oh,
like,
definitely. Yeah.
Science labs, you just see them walking around. I love the horror sequence of the next 15 minutes, like sneaking around, don't make noise, and all that kind of stuff. It's brilliant.
Yeah, and this show still is a horror show at the end of the day, and certain sequences like this remind you we're watching a horror TV show.
Yeah,
horror sci-fi,
especially when you see like Bob in a bit, like he's drenched in sweat and barely anything has happened. It's just fear. Like it's not even that he's done anything. It's just he knows he's in danger and he's just sweating.
Yeah.
Question for the panel: does Paul Reiser character here redeem himself for Burke in Aliens?
No.
Wow.
Well,
He is the same he's the same actor. I only just realized that. Yeah, he is the same actor.
Yeah.
You didn't know that? I even knew that, and I just saw Aliens just a little bit ago.
Well, it's just sometimes I just don't connect actors like that. It's it took me several. I mean, to be fair, it is different because it's voice acting, but it took me several watches of Tropic Thunder to realize that one of the characters' voice is Hiccup from How to Train Your Dragon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I forget his name. I forget his name, but he's like the younger one who's like dead nerdy.
Oh, you mean Jay Bachenault or Jay Deschanel? Oh shit.
Yarshell.
I can't remember.
Yeah.
Anyway, I didn't mean to get us distracted. It was just Burke from Aliens is Dr. Owens. Yeah.
When was Winona in Alien?
She was in Resurrection, the worst one.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Sorry, I completely blanked that one out.
Yeah, we all do for a very good reason.
That movie is if you get drunk enough though, you can have because Ron Perlman's just hamming it up so bad. Like, does that not fucking compute? Like, it's so
I would
stupid.
still take it over Prometheus and the other one.
What I'm saying,
not
especially
Convent.
you guys remember my first scene.
Say aliens. You can say it, Nadia. Just say aliens. I know you want to say it.
No,
You
it's
seen
not
that
just
film?
Aliens.
Remember the wheelchair? He's like this. He's looking up. He's like the fucking guy pulls a goddamn laser gun out of his wheelchair.
Yeah. Is there a bit where like he's looking over a balcony making like monkey noises or something, and he like flicks a knife and it lands in the guy's leg?
It's hilariously bad if you have no drinks.
Yeah.
It's so bad it becomes entertaining.
Yeah.
I still need to see Alien versus Predator, both of them.
God.
I just still haven't
The
seen
first
those
one.
yet.
No, we'll get into that. That's another discussion.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. All right.
Nadia.
It's fun, but it's not good.
The first
What's
one's
four
fun.
mean?
The second one is just an insult to humanity.
Oh no, the second.
I've seen the second one in theaters too.
God, oh, you poor soul.
Did they have
What
to
does-
turn the lights on so you could see it?
Well, yeah.
Cinevere's Fish and Anthony. What does 4 mean? I don't know.
Are you talking about Alien 4? Because
Yeah,
Alien 4
maybe.
is Resurrection.
Yeah.
I like 4/3. 3 was.
Oh
the
yeah,
worst.
they're talking aliens.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
4 is an affront to humanity. Fuck that movie.
Hey, it's the one where It's the one where Ellen Ripley, even Sigourney Weaver, like makes the backwards, like ball.
Oh,
throw.
right.
Yeah, she has a she starts balling.
Yeah, she like
Later,
throws it like
DJ.
basketball.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of Alien 3, like the demodogs they're ripped straight out of Alien 3.
Yeah. Well, it depends. Do you watch Alien 3 that is the ox cut or the dog cut? Because I learned the other day
Jesus.
there's
Let's
two
watch it.
different cuts of that movie.
There's always different cuts.
Yeah. Well.
Okay, maybe I've been wrong, Zax, because if Toxic and I agree on something, maybe I was wrong. Maybe I was wrong.
That's better. I'll
Wrong.
accept that.
Maybe I was wrong.
We have found the singularity point.
Maybe I was wrong. All right, so we are in the midst of everything going on. We do have a ton of demodogs just roaming, tearing people apart,
Munching.
eating them, munching, eating them. And then we get into the opening.
Yeah.
Get through that. Skip the intro. By the way, Netflix flags me every single time. Every single time.
Oh
yeah.
Yeah.
I could show like 2 seconds. I don't care. I mean, these videos aren't monetized, so
that's why I tried doing stills like for Last of Us. I just did stills.
Yeah.
It just makes it. I mean, it's still not perfect, but it's better if you just show images. They're like more forgiving with it. It's.
I just don't have time during the week to pull stills from everything.
No,
you can probably get a good bunch of there's probably a lot of like just like usable key art just available just through IMDb or whatever. Because if it's publicly out there, you can at least use that. It's not enough, but it's a start.
Well, it's something we've been going with when I do my rewatches. I can show 4 seconds of like say a film and I get flagged, but then some other girl who's got a low cut shirt shows 45 minutes of the same movie.
Oh, wait.
And she's monetized. See, now that's what you're doing wrong. Yeah.
That's what I got to do.
I've seen these watch points. These people will show 15, 20-minute clips and they're fine. I show 4 seconds of a film and like you've been copyright struck. Like, Jesus Christ, man.
That's why you got to do these on Twitch. They don't care over there anymore.
Oh, and I didn't even set, you know what? I always forget to set up my Rumble stream because you have to set it up the day of or like prior to. You can't set it up ahead of time. It's crazy. Okay. Anyway, let's get back into it. So this episode is called the Mind Flayer. It's definitely a redeemable episode after what we just encountered in the last episode, the episode we shall not talk about.
The Billy scene.
This one,
that episode is lost for a reason.
I'm curious to see.
I miss Sears.
Did the Duffer Brothers direct all of the episodes, or just?
I'm pretty sure.
No,
they didn't.
They didn't direct. Surprise, not surprise. Last episode was directed by a woman.
I think that's the only one that she did too.
Mm-hmm. So it looks like this is one of the episodes they only directed this season because I'm seeing a lot of different directors' names on each of the episodes.
I think Sean Levy did a bunch of the early ones.
Yeah, and they obviously writers for it as well.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, cool thing is we get introduced to Billy's parents.
Yeah. And you know what sucks? Kind of like the Byers dad. This dad also just never really like shows up again.
Yeah. It's interesting to see Billy scared in a sense because he's always been the tough guy.
Yeah, well, I think that's how they kind of explain like that. You know, like the do you like the hurt people saying about bullies? It's like, yeah, the big tough guy who's always yelling at people smaller than him and being a bully. This is why, because there's a guy bigger than him that's bullying him. Like, and this is one of the few times where, like, even though it's you could argue, it's like he was looking after his sister for the agreed amount of time, and he says in the scene like, well. I did have plans today, and you guys were 3 hours late. And it's not like she told me where she was going. She's 13, and she does what 13-year-olds do. She snuck out of a window to go hang out with her friends. What's the big deal? The thing is like teenagers do that. They do that. That is a thing that teenagers do. You should try and be you should try and be aware of what's going on, but don't be surprised that one of them's tried sneaking off when you get your big brother to try and be the babysitter to the 13-year-old. The 13-year-old's going to sneak out. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
Well, Max and Billy don't have a close relationship, and I would assume their parents would have noticed that at that point too, as well. I mean, even if he's not punching her in the face in front of him, they probably figuring out. So, and also, this is a 14-year-old in the 80s. I was a 14-year-old in the 90s, and we didn't need a baby. Like, I would babysit my younger siblings. We didn't need a babysitter at that point. So, I think this is more about a control issue because that's what I feel Billy always needs to be, is in control of the situation at all times. He needs to be the one in lead. So that's kind of playing off his father in this sense. Like he needs to be in control. He needs to know where his daughter is. He needs to know what his son is doing at all times and have that control and power over them. So it's just a cycle that's continuing with the two of them, in my opinion. But
That's
opinions are like buttholes. So
that's the thing that I was kind of impressed about, though, is because throughout the season, he's always been like really like controlling of Max. Like if she was 30 seconds late out the arcade, he started scolding her and all that kind of stuff. And if he saw her hanging out with,
this comes from.
But in this scene, he was talking about how he didn't know where Max was because he didn't care. And you're like, that's different from what we've been seeing before. He doesn't actually care that Max has snuck out because he expects it of her. She's a 13-year-old girl that wants to hang out with her mates. Like, she snuck out the house. It's sort of like he accepts that kind of part. And I was like, that's surprising.
Older sibling, I get it. I felt his pain throughout this whole thing. Like, why the fuck do I have to be responsible for my siblings that are of age that I was sneaking out at the time? It's not like they can't go very far in Hawkins. What's up, Doolies? What's going on,
Doolies? I thought it's funny how Bill's getting ready. He's taking cologne, just putting down his pants. Like, damn, dude. Jesus.
And then the dad comes in and literally just like slams him for it.
Oh yeah, he fully like. I'm pretty sure he slaps him at some point as well. Don't
well, I won't see a naughty stream. He calls him the dreaded F word. He's like, stop looking in yourself in the mirror like a.
Oh yeah. I remember that.
I'm surprised Netflix actually said that because everyone's so politically correct nowadays.
Well, you gotta understand.
Well,
he does it because he's supposed to be the dad's supposed to be the bad guy in that scene.
Fair enough. Yeah.
This dude was Joseph Quinn before Joseph Quinn, which is why I know Joseph Quinn ain't him. that has to be Andy. All right.
Talking about Joseph Quinn, and now that he's like the Human Torch, it makes me wonder if like Billy's actor would have been a good Human Torch now.
Because he kind of fell off a little bit. I will say, I do have a question for you guys. Does this build any sympathy for you for Billy, for him being a racist asshole majority of the time? Like, does this scene impact it enough that you do feel sorry for him?
I don't know about the racism angle. I'd have to see more scenes of that to really connect it.
Yeah.
But in terms of this and his relationship to Max, it does kind of like I'm connecting a couple dots, especially with the ways.
Time out. He is a racist. Did you not see how he acts every single time Lucas is around Max? He's like, we don't, I don't want you around that kind of boy.
We don't like their kind around
here.
I remember that scene a couple of episodes ago. What I'm saying is that like I'm not sure I'm connecting this.
Very nuanced.
I'm not sure I'm connecting this scene to whatever's going on there. That kind of just seems like maybe he would still be a bit of a racist even if he was treated well by his parents. I'm not going to.
Oh, okay. I see what you mean. Like either way, if he was nice or whatever, it's still the same.
But in terms of his relationship with Max and the way he's bullies, the way he's a bully, I'm connecting the dots here because he's literally getting bullied by his own dad. It's the same. He's acting like his dad is acting. He's acting around other people the same way his dad is acting to him. It's just bullying him.
Yeah, it's an exaggerated figure of a young black man. You can't handle it.
No, it's like nutty. It's not so much that we feel bad for him. We understand it because the problem is like guys like Billy bullies, guys that have treat women like shit. They're just sad little boys because they have shitty father figures, and it's just he's taking his frustrations out on Max because his dad treats him like shit. So then, and his dad probably has his own father issues. It just keeps repeating over and over and over again.
Probably also his father's trying to, because he's Max's stepfather, so he's probably trying to be more protective of his stepdaughter in a sense to not strain the relationship he has with his wife, her mother. So thus, kind of like Billy's Billy's definitely a racist. Dooley's like, I'm like, like I didn't pick it up until this rewatch because I was like, why is he just picking on her because Lucas is around?
It was the 80s. Who wasn't racist in the 80s? That was a fun time to be racist. What are you talking about?
I mean, in 2025.
My dad was definitely a racist.
Yeah.
I'm on Twitter.
Is Billy crying here?
Yes, he is.
Oh, what a pussy.
Very low T. Very low T.
He must have been reading. I bet you he was reading, and that's why this happened.
The most charitable connect the dots that I can do for Billy with the racism angle is that it's where racism is smoking on planes, the 80s. Fair enough. It is that him being racist is just like another outlet for his anger. It's not like a deeply held belief, so to speak, so much as it's another way he can just express rage and just take his anger out on people. Is because it's just a really obvious way for him to just to downplay, but not downplay, but like punch down at people. Like the same way he punches down at anyone that's weaker than him. Like picking on the little black kid is just another way of expressing his own insecurity because of scenes like this. That's like the most that I could say in terms of connecting the dots. Besides that, though, that's about the most I could do there.
Yeah, because Billy doesn't have clan signs in his room.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I don't think he's really invested in the politics of it. You know what I mean? I think he just likes to just riff on people and just punch down.
Drive-through beer stores. They have now drive-through weed stores out here.
Yes, they do.
I like this racism as an outlet defense. Okay.
Defense.
I didn't say it.
In defense of racism with Tootie.
That's a title.
Hey, Piranha, how are you? Nudie magazines under the mattress. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. But we don't cry, guys. We're not supposed to cry
No.
in the 80s. Aren't you only supposed to cry at funerals and the birth of your child, and that's about it
I
for
cry
you
in the
dudes?
shower.
I don't think you're allowed to do that these days.
Yeah.
Gen Z
Well,
wakes
that's
up
the old-
crying.
Old Yeller. You can cry with Old
Oh,
Yeller.
yeah.
Oh, okay. If your dog passes away
Yeah.
too. Yeah,
Actually,
yeah.
and I cried during Transformers
3
the
times.
movie. Optimus Prime died. God damn it.
Okay. It's based.
Finally. You got
Blue,
in touch.
I gotta tell you, man. I think I have more testosterone than you do.
Every boy I knew cried when Optimus Prime died. God damn it.
It's a life-changing event.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I'm gonna be a recurring guest because I'm mad at Kata right now. So we'll see.
Well, he's probably mad at you. No ankle picks.
Dude saw my feet the entire time he was in Vegas here. He said he didn't want to say anything out of respect for Chris.
And now you got him hooked. He's got a dependency. You got to
Yeah.
give him some stuff. You got to teach him his place. Step on
King
him.
Steve. So the kids are all kind of separated into groups. So we have Steve with Max, Lucas, and Dustin. We have Nancy and Jonathan. And then we also have Mike with Will. They're all kind of leading towards the lab. So these guys are still looking for Dart, and it's kind of heading in the way of the lab. And then Jonathan and Nancy are heading there too as well to get some answers of stuff. So they all are heading this way. So this is the typical arc for this series because usually we get a lot of separation throughout the first 6 episodes, and then
plot, B
the
plot,
last
C
2.
plot, D plot,
Yeah.
E plot.
Yeah.
Blah. I will say, compared to the future seasons, at least this one, when it comes to getting all different like side plots to kind of converge on one point, this probably is like the best that they've handled it. Just having them all just like having all of their like leads direct them towards the lab.
Yeah.
Whereas
Yeah,
like the rest of the show, like the other seasons, like they all just kind of just like happen to just group back up again.
Damn, girl, you walk with those feet. I am not. I'm too sober for this conversation. That's where I'm at.
Right there, but even Dustin still defended that damn Demodog. Like he was gonna eat us. No, he wasn't. He was our friend.
He
like,
ate your cat, dude. He
Exactly.
ate your cat.
He still defend that damn thing.
It's like, he didn't mean it.
Yeah.
Oh god.
I think this is my least favorite Nancy season I've made up to be. At first I was like defending her, and then she's a little two-timer.
Yeah.
She's a little two-timer. She popped that cherry and she just kept going.
She said Steve was cool, okay?
Okay. I will say, all right, we're back. Okay, let's bring it in.
Yeah.
We're bringing it in. We're back at the Hawkins lab. Bob is trying to figure out a plan. So what they're going to do is he has to go in. Nobody else knows how to do, I guess, in a sense, coding to kind of open up the doors and get everything set up. He's the only one that can do it. So
Set the
he
breakers.
leaves off.
It's like a Jurassic Park.
You know, I
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
You're right.
Poor Sam Jackson.
I do love that's like they all know that after this he's not coming back after this, so they're just gonna give him like the best lines in the whole episode. It's like, should I teach you some French while I'm at it? Maybe some German. They just told him like, listen, this is your last episode, so go nuts with it, have fun.
Bob's taking charge. Like, I know basic.
Mhm.
All right, I do.
It's the first time he's had a high testosterone this entire season.
Damn right.
Yeah. Hey, listen.
He finally put down the book.
High testosterone and nerdy. That's a good combination, ladies. Get both of those.
He tells Joyce though. He's like, remember Bob Newby, superhero. Yes, Bob. You're gonna walk out of this unscathed.
I also like this scene where Nancy and Jonathan pull up and they hear noise, and then it's just like they all meet up. Nancy and Caesar with Jonathan. Steve. They're all coming together. Oh, look at that glorious hair. Look at that hair, man. That's beautiful.
Yeah. God King Steve.
I almost got a King Steve tattoo, but Chris was like, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I was like, come on.
That's a lot to explain, Nadia.
Come on, hold on.
It's a tramp stamp.
King Steve tattoo. I'll show you the one I was basing it off of. I think I can find it. But yeah, the kids are all together. They all kind of. Is this one where it says "Daddy" on it? No, that's not it.
Just watching that scene there with Nadia between Bob and Hopper. He's like, listen, once the doors are open, don't wait for me. Get Joyce and the kids get out of there. Bob's even ready to like. He's even planning the fact that like Joyce and the kids are more important than me.
Mm-hmm. All right, I can't find it, but it basically had him with his bat, and it said like King Steve or whatever. Fuck, Steve is cool. He is, man.
He is cool.
He's the coolest dude out of all of it.
Yeah.
You know what? I know I don't have a super chat, but I wanna play it anyway. Here we go.
Not his best moment, but okay.
I asked Vex for a Steve with a bat one, but I never got it, so that's all right. It's okay.
I'm not even entirely sure what they were even trying to mimic in that little clip. Like, Steve just seems like
You'll get there.
It's coming. That's season 4, though. So
3. No, 3.
Is that 3?
That one's 3.
Yeah, that's 3.
Because that's when he's that's when he's working the mall.
Yeah, I think I've seen him doing that. Mm-hmm. You got Nancy in like he was in like an office, like serving coffee or something like that.
Hopper's in shape this season too.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
And did he get offer Red Guardian at this point?
No, this was for Hellboy.
Hellboy, I think, yeah.
Hellboy, yeah.
Yeah, because he started slimming down. Well, they said that's why they had to do prosthetics because, like, hey, can I get in shape for Hellboy in 6 months? Like, do without a shitload of steroids, you can't. Like, trim down what you can. But Hellboy was they really prosthetic the fuck out of him for that film.
I think I blocked out that entire movie. I find The Crooked Man to be better than that one.
Yeah. I tried watching it.
I haven't watched Crooked Man.
It's good. I liked it. It's basically the comic book on screen, like panel to scene. So, all right, Bob makes it. Bob makes it to with his tech skills. He volunteers despite the danger. He successfully restores power, allowing the group to unlock the exit. So Bob does make it here.
Yeah.
And the kids are all outside. They're all trying to get back in with the Demodog.
And Dustin's trying to do his little celebration as well. I opened it. I opened it.
This looks like sequel.
Like the whole back in the 80s, like clicking. It's like Jay Goodwin, you know.
I remember playing games on this system, kind of, little Mr. Potato Head where you had to move the stuff.
Oregon Trail.
Yep. Yep. Open Sesame. Look how hardcore he looks. He looks like he belongs in a Mission Impossible movie.
Yeah.
Oh my god, yes.
That's the thing. He's not even encountered any of the demodogs yet. But he's sweating his ass off because that's just the situation you're in.
Yeah. Plus
he's channeling his inner Sam. He's like,
plus he's kind of Bob's kind of heavy set too.
Come on, radio. I can't carry it for you, but I can carry you. Carries the radio up the stairs.
That's good.
Should have just thrown on the radio.
Can we
I will say though,
let's pretend he lives, guys. We could just do that.
Oh.
Sure, yeah. Let's go with
Why
that.
did you leave the gun? Why would you do that? How is that even something that's possible for you to forget? You would feel it in your hand. be like, surely, like, hang on, like my hands are empty. You'd be like, wait a second, wasn't I holding something a minute ago? Like, oh, the gun.
I'd say in that moment, he's got like, so much going on, like adrenaline's pumping. You're just not thinking it's.
Well, he's also kind of like high on himself because he just scared off the demodog with the sprinklers. Like, I'm cool. Yeah, I'm invincible here.
Yep.
Doolies, I have to ask, which one are you typing all this? Which one are you the funny one? Because
It's Andy.
It's Andy. I think so. It has to be. Not that she's not funny, but it has to be. It has to be. Right? Big Farm? Yeah, this is Andy. Gotta be.
Yeah. I will say though, in terms of me getting hung up on the gun.
Maybe. Why leave the gun, guys?
Yeah, in terms of getting hung up on the gun, I will admit the gun is completely useless anyway. We've seen that. Like they shoot the demogorgons, it doesn't even hurt them, so it's not like it would have saved them anyway.
It would slow him down though.
It's barely, but maybe it's still silly to leave it behind. But it's not like it would have saved him.
Even if he did remember to take the gun, they would be sure to include a shot of him dropping it as soon as he gets his ass tackled. Let's be real.
True. Yeah.
That's true. That's true. So Dr. Owens here sacrifices himself. I love that Zach knew immediately. I kind of had a feeling because I'm like, a Big Farm joke? That's coming from Andy. There has to be, but we'll see. So Dr. Owens sacrifices himself to save the others, which is another redeeming quality, I guess, to the whole Hawkins Lab. Sad to see him go, I guess.
Do we actually see him die, or is it just one of those like we just know he's not getting out?
Not that I don't think Katie's funny. Katie's very funny, but just Big Farm, if it's Andy. I don't know why.
If it looks like a duck and it quacks like a
quacks
duck.
like a duck, it is a duck. Oh, look at him sweating, man.
Poor bastard.
Oh, this is when he's in the closet. Yeah. I will say though, like it took him way too long to get in that closet. Like he knows what situation he's in, and then Dr. Owen is like, okay, stop, and he stops, and he just stands there in the middle of the hallway, going like, what? And he goes, "Is something to you?" He even say that there's something to his side. He just says, okay, the door to your left, okay, that's a closet. Get in it, and you're like. Surely the first thing you would say is, "Don't go forward. There's a demodog to your. There's a demogorgon to your left. Get in the closet get in your closet to the door on your left." Surely you'd just say that like dead quick. You wouldn't even. It takes him way too long to explain everything and to get him in that closet.
I feel like it just kind of like implied that if he's the guy watching the cameras is telling you stop moving, it's implied that you know what's around the corner there. I don't think he needs to be spelled out for him.
It's not that bit. It's that it's that Bob looks so sort of unaware of what situation he is in the scene. It's like he stands still and he just goes, "What?" But he doesn't like look scared or anything like that. It's just sort of he looks almost confused, and you sat there like, surely you know why he's told you to stop, right? Yeah. It's because there's something around the corner. It's like, and he says, "You see the door to your left," and he looks like sort of awkwardly, and he goes like, "Yeah," and he goes, "And that's a closet. You need to get in it." And sat there like, "Why are you taking so long to explain this?"
Yeah.
Zax, we're about to get to the best part.
Sorry guys, I gotta head out, but tomorrow, Circle of Jerks number 100. We brought the OG gang back together, which means we got Flaccid, Phoenix, Dawn, Gator, AJ, hopefully AJ, depending on his phone. And Cope Dog, Copa Catania is going to be back with us too, and IGP Mexican is going to be great. It's show 100. Do not miss it.
Oh yeah,
it's gonna be good.
Yeah, I will raid right into it after my drunk reading stream.
Perfect.
Whatever it is.
What could be a better lead up?
Yes. So please, guys, everybody's links in the description below. Please check it out. Circle of Jerks is a good time. You got nothing going on Saturday. Please, if you're in my chat, you definitely got nothing going on Saturday night. So come on, Circle of Jerks.
I will see you there.
Tune in.
See you there.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Bye, Zax.
Bye.
Hey, buddy.
And now Zax gets to pretend like Bob doesn't die horribly for the rest of the series. He's like, I didn't see it. It don't count.
He left on purpose right now. That's what it was.
I know.
That shit.
He just wanted to go play with his 2 new little kitties. That's what he wanted to do. That's what exactly what he wanted to do. All right. So everybody, get your lighters out. Light them up. Light it up.
I don't have a lighter.
Right,
I don't.
I got a candle.
Here, turn. You can.
All right.
if you worried about your
R.I.P.
smoke
Bob.
alarms,
Oh yeah, poor Bob.
Oh yeah, your light too. You can turn your lights up.
There
All
we go.
right.
This
Here
is
we
my,
go,
this is my
Bob.
light. This is my mouse. That's
We
my
do.
light.
I'm gonna take the hit from
Alright.
Netflix for this one. All right,
Yeah,
let's
do
do
it,
this.
There you go.
Smiles.
There you go. That's
In the arms of the angel.
And it just impales his side too. It's like whoosh.
R.I.P.'s in the chat for Bob. R.I.P. for the chat for Bob.
The best part about saying that song is like if you time it right, you can do it right when they have the claw of the Demodog come up to just like
Oh, yeah, right into his side too.
Oh.
yeah.
Poor Bob.
why
Poor Bob.
they were still in the building. Why did he wait? Why did he like stop to catch his breath and smile at Joyce? You're like,
He's out of
okay.
shape, man.
Okay, to be fair though, is this not also just
Ah,
oh yeah, it's brutal. It's
is
good
it
that-
not but is it
R.I.P.
not
Irene.
No. Oh my god, that Nadia, that's the clip. It's the think I'm invincible smack. Grabs him.
poor Bob. R.I.P. Bob.
No, listen,
One of-
is this
one of the
not
best.
also we're giving Bob a hard time for stopping and thinking he's safe when shouldn't Joyce have been the one to see the Demodog charging the other side of the room? Because like this thing hits him in his blind spot and tackles him. Joyce
Yeah.
could see him.
Yeah, well,
I mean,
there's that as well. But it's
it's
like
dark.
he was literally just running. Like the door, they've just seen they've seen these demogorgons or demodogs, whatever we're calling them. We've seen them
Yeah.
like burst through glass that's specifically intended to keep them out. There is no way that anyone thinks that wooden door is holding them for any amount of time.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that I'm surprised it didn't just burst straight through it. But like he
Yeah.
stops to like he stops and pulls like a "Yay, I've made it" face at Joyce, and you're like, "You're
Yeah.
not safe."
Well, they all think they have because she's just in there the same exact face. So everyone at
Yeah.
that
I'm so
Hopper
like,
doesn't
why?
have Hopper doesn't even have the gun pulled. It's on his side. It's down by
It
his
doesn't
side.
even hurt them. It barely annoys them.
It's at minimum it slows it down, but the point is like he doesn't have the gun ready. They all think they're
Yeah.
safe in the lobby. It's not just Bob's fault.
yeah.
I will say they should have cut the last episode and expanded and then ended if they took this and replaced this in episode 6 or 7 and then ended it here and then pick up from the lost of Bob leading into the next episode. Kind of cut this in half. That would be more impactful than what we got in Chicago. That'd
Yeah.
be more impactful than what we got with Chicago
Yeah.
with this. In the arms of the angels. Poor Bob.
Yep,
R.I.P.
that's-
Bob.
Yep, that's
Yeah.
me.
I say
Yep, that's me.
Hopper shooting these things. That's a pretty big gun. Not even denting
Mhm.
these things. It's just pissing him off. Like, dude, you're
Yeah.
fucked.
Yeah.
Hopper's also about to shoot his shot. He's like, oh, Bob's out of the way. Oh, all right.
So this was all
Maybe.
Hopper did it on purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
When Bob volunteered to go, he was like, that's why he didn't argue. It's like,
He was
yeah,
like,
all right,
all right, sure. Yeah. Go ahead, dude. I've been wanting to smash your lady for a while anyway. So after the devastation of losing Bob, everybody kind of meeting outside, they head out. They have to take Will somewhere where he's not going to know where he is so that the Mind Flayer doesn't know where they are. And I think that
Yeah.
poor Bob. Bobo.
Yeah.
Mm,
When they get to the top, you have like
Oh!
damn.
Oh!
Yeah.
let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's at least 5.
Yeah.
Oh. This is.
So-
I didn't even expect to land on this. This is a pretty good shot, though. Pretty
Yeah.
sure- I don't
So
know.
hungry.
They all look slimy.
I do like how brutal the death is.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
Yeah.
It is very. And I think this is the. Well, actually, last season we had 11. Kill like 8 people. In the last episode, just completely just
Yeah.
bust
It
their
was more like
heads.
it's more like switching the lights out almost, wasn't it? With 11 though. In the last
Yeah.
episode, it was brutal, but it wasn't. I was gonna say it wasn't like particularly gory, but this one is like is like if you're going out like this, you've got like 5 of these like demon monsters just chowing on you. You're like, oh dear.
They hit Bob with the situation as the same story as the horse from the first episode of The Walking Dead, just guts.
Oh yeah, yeah,
That's exactly what this is.
I will say I do like the fact that when they do kill off a character, like you actually see the character die they don't bring him back. They don't bring it back.
Oh, yeah.
The character's just officially gone. Other than Dr. Bremer, that's the only one, because I can understand that. But we lost Barb, now we lost Bob, and we're gonna lose a couple more people down the line. So
there will be more.
I do like that. There will be more. There will be more. I do love the fact that Dustin is trying to explain to everybody using D&D terms of what the Mind Flayer is. And Hopper's like, this is all make-believe. This is a game. And I'm like, dude, you just saw like a bunch of demodogs come out of the ground.
Yeah.
Who are, like, the last 2 years you've experienced probably the most supernatural shit you've ever seen in your life. And this is the line. This is the line for you. You just don't.
Well, no,
you're not
because the line after that, when Dustin is like, "Oh, well, you beat this thing by you raise an army of zombies because they don't have brains," and he's like, "Oh, I'll shut up now."
Yeah, because like,
there's the real line here. It's like, "Oh, we're gonna summon the undead to fight the demodogs."
Yeah, and then a poor Joyce and Hopper moment. Man, I will say, very well acted this episode.
Oh
Hopper
yeah,
well, counterproductive. He always is.
When is it not with this cast? They're just
yeah,
top notch.
Really.
Will's right though. I mean, Will's arguing like, "Hop, we should do something. Do what? I had a big rifle and I'm doing nothing against these creatures. What do you plan on us? We have no weapons here, kids. Like,
Yeah.
These things are way out of our league. There's right now without 11, there's nothing we can do besides just waiting for backup. They can't. Come on.
Yeah, I will say though, when I was looking at it and I was writing some notes on it, I did point out that there's like a lot of different themes. So there's the themes of like sacrifice and heroism, and what I came from that is like Bob selfishly like helping these people and surrendering himself at the cost of the Upside Down, highlighting that like somebody ordinary who doesn't have abilities can have heroism in them and have a hero's journey. And it sounds like Sam. Anyway,
because there's something good in the world worth fighting for, Mr. Frodo.
Yeah, but basically he doesn't like. He's a normal guy. He loves this woman. He loves his her kids. He wants to protect these people, so he's willing to sacrifice himself to do so without even having abilities. Like he and on top of it, he doesn't have Hopper's military background either. So he's not a fighter, but he sees a chance to step up like a real man. IT.
Damn right.
R.I.P. Bob. R.I.P. So
In
the
Bob
kids are
we
trying to
trust.
figure out. In Bob, we fucking do trust. Sketch. We do. That's the theme of today. So they are. I don't want to say torturing. What's a good word? Like
Interrogating.
Thank you. Interrogating Will. Hopper discovers that Will is actually communicating with Morse code. He's like tapping the side of the chair, and they're figuring out that eventually the Morse code comes to the fact that they need to close the gate. Kudos to Noah in this episode, dude. He's a creepy little fucking kid.
We talked about it's mentioned they gave Bob the sweat treatment earlier on. As soon as he's gone, it's like, all right, Will, you're getting the sweat treatment for the rest of this episode. Come here. Drop the bucket on him.
Man, this episode, again, I think weakest season, but these are the best. Oh, that's a bad screenshot. Lucas, sorry there, dude. So this is where they're deciding the fan. They have to realize they have to isolate Will. They have to make sure that he doesn't know where they are because the Mind Flayer is using Will as a spy. We learn that Will is using Morse code to communicate with them. And then towards the end, we get 11 coming back. But this is where the group understands the Mind Flayer as a sentient, manipulative force. Yeah. So it clarifies that this is the season's like central threat. And I know it bleeds into season 3. But yeah, he gets creepier the older he gets. Who does? Andy, I guess. Like one of them.
Will. It's that haircut. They insist on making him keep that bowl cut.
Oh, it's so bad.
It only gets worse with the older he gets.
Well,
yeah, I've
Sorry.
noticed that, and I've only ever seen him in trailers as well.
Yeah.
So
I was going to say it's cool to hear like how Dustin, for the first time in the show, he says the term Mind Flayer because we haven't heard it so far. I mean, we know it, but like the characters, And of course, then like
Really?
Hopper says, he's a kid. It's just a stupid game. Oh, it's a stupid game. Okay, well, if you know more than we, tell us, Hopper. And like, he puts Hopper in check, no problem. Like,
we need something to call this thing. It's an eldritch horror beyond man's comprehension. It's an interdimensional invasion through people.
Dustin is an old soul. He's an old soul.
He's a team player. He understands like the party must stay must keep the party together.
You can't split the party up. You can't split D&D rules. You can't split the party up.
This is totally in line with his character from the first season. He's the one who's like, no, everyone stays together. Just kiss and make up.
You've also got it's like sometimes you just want to tell Hopper, it's like, all right, so what's your word for the upside down again? Oh, you're still calling it the upside down from D&D. Okay, lovely. Like it's like go on.
We do get some touchy moments to kind of wrap up. We do get Nancy and Steve having a moment throughout this episode as well. I think they're finally realizing their relationship is done. We're over with. I mean, Nancy hopped on the next guy she could, so she's here. And then we do get moments between Dustin and Lucas in this episode, baking up their friendship because, you know, the whole season they were kind of seeking Max's attention to see who could get, obviously Lucas winning. So Dustin here is like, I saw you two. I see the chemistry between you two, almost, you know, accepting defeat. So
the electricity.
You know, now that I think about it, and correct me if I'm wrong, but with everyone kind of like making amends and bearing the hatchet, I don't remember Mike and Max having a moment where they kind of like
they don't
get things straight. They had one before. They had one earlier, but they don't have like this kind of like.
They actually,
we're good.
It cemented even worse in this episode because Mike is like, you're not part. Like you're not. This doesn't mean you're part of the group. Like, sorry, like, this, you know. And she tries to soften it a little bit by bringing back up 11 to see like, hey, 11 really does sound like she was very cool. It does soften him a bit, but he's still pretty standoffish from her.
This is going to lead into a core problem with season 3.
Yep. Trifling ass Nancy. You're right, Rex. Thank you, Doolies. Thank you. We try to have some fun here. We try. Yes. So the two of this, I know I'm speeding. If there's any scenes you guys would like me to pull up, I'm just kind of moving through because
I like Joyce's monologue memory to Will about the box of crayons.
Right here,
like right here, that they kind of lead off with.
Yeah.
And at a moment when you look at him, I almost felt like he was going to say something like, "Yes, Mom."
Yeah.
And it does, and you can totally tell the Mind Flayer's complete control at this point.
Yeah. I will say though, like, does anybody really remember Morse code that well that they literally know like all the letters off by heart?
Back in the 80s, though, different generation.
Yeah, especially like tech nerds from the 80s, they would definitely know it.
I mean,
wasn't there?
Yeah.
Wasn't there like toys back then around that time that taught little kids how to do Morse code?
I mentioned,
stuff?
I mean, these guys they went to summer camp. They had like Boy Scouts and things like that. But I mean, I think Morse code was a lot more common back then because of the technology, and especially these kids. They're kind of talking on walkie talkies, and kids would have fun with walkie talkies and Morse code.
Like pop culture wise, like G.I. Joe was also kind of big. Like that kind of played into like military like make believe playtime.
But because I mean, if you use Morse code 2025, I wouldn't believe it. But because it's the 80s, I can go with that.
Yeah, no, it's not the idea that like he knows Morse code. I'm more than fine with them all being into Morse code. It's just, would any of them know it so well that they're able to memorize all like the full alphabet off by heart? Like,
well, that's why Hopper's here, because we got this shot, or we got the scene a couple episodes ago where he's teaching 11 basic Morse code so he can send the messages. So we know that at least Hopper can. They only really need Hopper there to be able to interpret it.
And top of Hopper being ex-military would make sense too.
Yeah, I guess no. Yeah, all right. It's not. I suppose not that big a deal anyway.
When they brought up his birthday, does anybody remember? I think it's either season 3 or 4 where there's an episode that takes place on his birthday, but it's never mentioned his birthday. I think it was season 4 because it's during spring break. Because season 4 is during spring break for them. Yeah, and I think one of the dates is March 22nd. It was a big thing online too. I saw all over Twitter. About it.
I think the one I'm gonna message you when I think of, because it's a massive spoiler I don't want to give to Toonie. It's which particular one I think you're thinking of.
Yeah, Will's
Give me a second.
birthday. I think Stranger.
It should be the one moment.
Oh, yeah. Now with Netflix, Stranger Things wishes him a happy birthday on that date. The show is doubling down the fact that March 22nd is, in fact, Will's birthday, thus confirming season 4's plot hole.
Yeah, here, I DM'd you on Twitter asking.
Okay.
It's the same day that I'm thinking of, right?
I think you are correct. Let me see.
I'm fairly certain that's the event that's referenced.
Yes. Yeah,
that's what I thought.
Yep. Yeah. Kid didn't even get a happy birthday. Kid didn't eat. You can still buy Kieran Ham Radio.
Don't worry, Tootie. You'll get there. You'll find out.
Yeah.
You'll find out soon. Just keep this date. Keep this date in mind. Okay.
So just keep in mind his birthday's March 22nd.
Yeah.
And there's going to be an event that happens on his birthday, but there's no acknowledgement at all that it's his birthday at all through the whole.
No,
thing.
That's what I'll build into ours now. This is my journey through the show. This is
the numbers, Mason. What do they mean?
This kid, man, that haircut is just giving it. Look at, aw, Mike crying because his best buddies.
Best buddies since kindergarten.
Yep. And you could see him Will himself trying to force out, but the Mind Flayer has complete control at this point.
Yeah.
I do like the music too. The build up they're doing like the whole montage of building this whole thing, and then you feel like that vibe, and the build up to this whole epic scene, and because shit's getting real. We're only 15 more minutes, and this is the end of the episode until the finale.
Yeah, I do also wonder, in terms of Will's facial expressions, how much of it is the Mind Flayer almost being afraid of how it can't convince the family. Like it's almost trying to sometimes I get the impression that the Mind Flayer is it's sort of, what's the way to explain it? It's trying to find a way to sneak its way into the minds of the family. Not in terms of like a possession sense. It's trying to fool them, but it knows it really can't because it's trying to listen to the things they're saying and find something it can say to respond to them that'll make them believe it. But it knows that there really isn't a spot. And so that's sort of like, I kind of see that in like Will's face. The Mind Flayer is almost like a little bit like on edge with the way it's looking at them.
If we were to go back to D&D terms here, it's trying to make a deception roll.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they're passing. He's passing in a sense.
The Mind Flayer is
he's failing.
No, the Mind Flayer is still kind of succeeding its deception roll, but Will is somewhat succeeding whatever like intelligence or like intelligence roll he needs to the DM makes him for it to succeed to break past the Mind Flayer's control.
Yeah.
This show gets so much more fun when you break it down in terms of D&D mechanics.
Yeah.
Does D&D have like a perception thing instead of intelligence?
Yeah, perception is one of the key abilities that you have in D&D. You use it for so much stuff.
Yeah, I'm wondering if like maybe perception would be something that would be over intelligence in this specific context. Like, like his perception is like environmental awareness. Maybe he's able to he's able to like send instructions to his hand that the Mind Flayer can't detect from his brain.
Well, that would actually, if you were going to be a DM, you would probably articulate that as like through something called the passive perception. So it's like a passive perception for a character basically means like if your character attempts to make a perception roll, anything that has like a check to succeed below a certain value, you automatically pass it. So like in this situation, that would be like a perception check would go to Hopper because he notices that Will is sending the signal.
Right.
Yeah. Fair enough.
So what happens while they're interrogating him is the phone rings, and the Mind Flayer is able to locate him based off that phone ring. So they are untying Will and bringing him back into the main part of the house. And they are all getting ready for battle here at this point. They hear a noise outside, and then we get a Demodog right through the window. I will love the fact that even though trifling ass Nancy is the one to pick up the gun instead of John is like, I don't know how to use this. I think Nancy's like, just give it to me. I got it. And we get a Demodog through the window, and we learn that 11 is back. She's the one that able to save them. Look at that thing.
Slimy. Can I jump back for a second? Was there not a better way to for Will to, or the Mind Flayer to figure out that they were at the Byers' house, then a phone going off. Because that, I'm kind of in agreement with like the kids here. Is like that could be anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
It was Steve that pointed that out. It was like, yeah, but that could be like any phone.
But that was like inside the house, and they had like repurposed like the tool shed behind the house to hold Will in. So I don't even know how he heard it.
But the Mind Flayer is everywhere, right? There's vines and underneath pretty much all of Hawkins at this point.
Could a phone penetrate that far underground like that, though?
Well, it'd be connected to the wires.
They have like super scent or super like hearing sense.
I don't know. I feel like there would have been. There's a better way to blow their cover than a phone. I
think going back to the Byers' house is just like obvious, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be obvious as one of the first places whatever the Mind Flayer would go check out anyway? To make sure that they weren't there.
Well, at that point, like, why wouldn't they just be like, we have to figure out how to get him out here against the clock beforehand, than trying to set up like so he can't know.
And then we get the Triumph 11 back with her gothic look,
bitchin'.
Come on,
that's it. That's how you make a damn entrance.
Yep.
Oh, young love. So adorable. So adorable. So adorable. And that ends this episode, guys. That ends episode 8. We are on season finale next week.
Yeah. It's also a 1 hour episode too.
Yeah. So we'll have some time to dive deep into it. I think episode 8, pacing, emotional stakes were great. It blended horror action and character-driven drama very well. Bob's death was a shock, but I think it was the catalyst for the episode to lead into the next episode. So I think it's one of the stronger episodes out of the entire season, but that's not hard to say because normally Stranger Things season finales are like their last 2 episodes are pretty good. Everything, everybody's back together. Everybody's trying to defeat whatever monster is going on. So I liked it. Sketch, final thoughts?
Yeah. No, I'm in agreement here. I really like this as a penultimate episode. I like the fact that this is the first time the whole crew has actually gotten to witness 11 and learns that she's still alive, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
Bob's dead. In Bob we trust.
In Bob we trust. There we go. Someone's got to tell Frodo. Man, he's going to be gutted. There we go. Anyway, go on.
Blue, final thoughts?
Everything Sketch said, and you and Tune being solid, like probably 8 out of 10 episode, if not maybe a little higher. They said you could skip over last one, so it's like you can go basically 6, 8, 9, and you're fine. And yeah, it's like lots of payoffs. The way Bob died was a shocker to everybody, but also there's a premise behind it. It wasn't just killing him for the sake of shock value, which is something a lot of TV shows and movies do. And this had a purpose. He sacrificed himself and became a hero in his own right.
Yeah.
Toonie? Suffice it to say that I'm glad we watched episodes 7 and 8 and not 6 and 7 because 8 was a nice palate cleanser. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That would have been. You wouldn't do something like that, would you, Nadia? Make us watch 6 and 7 in that order, and that would be where we ended. No,
I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that.
I wanted to bring one other thing about, I guess it's just beat a dead horse again here. Part of the reason episode 7 is also just unbearable is because it comes right after 6.
Yeah.
It's like at the end of 6, you're like, oh, shit's about to go down. Why are we in Chicago?
Yeah. And I think as a viewer, honestly, if I wasn't a content creator, as a viewer, I would be pissed. I'd be like, really? We're not going to pick up back where we just had this intense moment set up for this finale? We now have to go to fucking Chicago?
Well, I guess that's part of like, back in the day, that was an argument in favor of the binge mode. It's like, well, yeah, it was a bad episode, but at least you can move straight on to the next one. Whereas if this was like weekly, can you imagine having to wait like 2 weeks to pick back up?
Yeah.
it's 45 fucking minutes. It's not like it's a 20-minute episode filler. It's a 45-minute episode.
Well, that's fairly average for like some of these shows, because like Breaking Bad episodes, like all the AMC shows were like 45 minutes to account for commercials. So it's not like it was too much longer, but still, I'm like, imagine like you get off of episode 6. It's like a Friday night. Episode 6 came out, and like we were like, you and your friends are like, holy shit, that was amazing. And then the next week you get 7, like, what the hell was that? And you have like 2 weeks to go into like episode 8, where like you thought you were going the previous week.
I'm having PTSD flashbacks of House of Dragon season 2, because the whole time my panel was like, it'll get better next episode. This is just a one-off. We'll get better.
That's a great point, because like remember that earlier, like this whole season we were like, yeah, this is a lot of setup. It's really taking its time to set up. This is how you this season is how you actually do that setup and give it like the proper like payoff and like build that you want. House of the Dragon season 2 just was like the first half of this season. It was just the build up.
Well, the problem is with that is season 1 was it was very good. It reminded me of earlier Game of Thrones. So everybody's, and we all heard the problems coming down the pipeline of season 2, but I was willing to give it a shot. And I go back sometimes to rewatch some of those streams, and my whole panel's like, oh, we got to fucking talk about this show again. So, I'm sorry, Toonie, did you finish final thoughts on it?
Well, basically, I think I've criticized the details of Bob's death, but yeah, it is a relatively sad death. In terms of an episode, I'd say that horror sequence, that stealth sequence, I really like that. It's sort of what you don't actually get as much from even stuff like horror games now. It's sort of like, you just kind of miss it. It's like even in a lot of horror games, you don't quite get that feeling of, okay, do not walk around that corner.
Very Resident Evil.
Yeah, imagine like well, maybe it could be a 2-player horror game, but imagine you got a horror game where someone's talking to you over the radio, like telling you where to go, or telling you like where not to go. There's blood in the corridors. There's a little So imagine like as everyone played like the Payday games.
Ah, yes.
Yeah. So do you like how there's a lot of crouching around in the Payday games? If you try to do the stealth runs, it's like you can have something like, I know it sounds weird to describe a horror game with Payday stealth. I've kind of started off at a bad spot here, but you can have a good horror game with like a sort of the Payday's idea of sneaking around was somebody talking to you over the radio to tell you, right, don't go around this corner, and guiding you around basically. And when I want to talk about Payday, I mean like you've got to go around the area to sort of activate certain switches before you do the actual heist section. Anyway, I'll stop talking about Payday and horror games because I realize that's not about Stranger Things. But yeah, it could be a really that idea of that sequence of Stranger Things could that sequence of the episode could make for a really good idea for a horror game.
Very cool. All right. Well, we actually are ending on time. Surprised. Sketch, nice. What do you got going on next?
Thank you, episode 7, for being so uninteresting. We were able to burn past you.
Yeah.
You did something good for once. I've got an outline for a pilot to a new radio drama prepared, so on to the first draft we run. But hey, so I just saw this when Toonie was explaining it. If you like that kind of like directing someone away from the monster, my previous short audio drama Stowaway has a chase scene takes heavy inspiration from that exact same concept. Y'all should give it a listen if you want to see that in action more, because it's a very cool idea to have someone guiding someone.
Yeah,
highly recommend it. Highly recommend. I think you guys will enjoy it. 10 out of 10 would recommend. Blue.
Just around. I mean, I'm just doing everything. Like I know Nick is starting Monday his Tombstone stream, which I'm going to be part of, and I'm always back behind that. I mean, like I love hanging out with you, but just God, so many films been coming out. Accountant 2 was great. Warfare was great. Didn't make videos. Minecraft was terrible, but see episode 3 today. It's just I'm so backed up, but I'm always around. But you guys probably all know it. Being on YouTube, but also having a full-time job, but plus being a parent, it's very time consuming. So I've turned down my videos, but I'm still slowly putting stuff out there. But stuff takes time.
Yeah, I hear you. Toonie, what do you got going on next, sir?
Next, I'm going to catch up on a little bit of sleep, but no. No,
What's it like?
Channel wise, I'm almost caught up on all of the missed uploads since the end of Spooktober 2025. It was a bit slow. We missed a few, but we've been doing double uploads now for pretty much all of April. And but if I manage to get double uploads for the last few days of April, we will be all fully caught up, back to single uploads, one a day. Then again, I really hope. I did a job interview. I'm trying to get another job. I've left my old job. I did a job interview the other day. I'm really hoping this one goes through. If it does, we might be turning it back from one video a day. But we'll see about that. But yeah, that's myself channel wise.
Very cool. As for myself, I will be back tomorrow. We have members watch party at 2 p.m. Pacific. We also have my spooky tales and tasting of the Matthew Lillard tequila that I got. So I'll be doing that tomorrow at 6 p.m. and then we'll be raiding into Circle of Jerks. Monday, I am on Moxie's channel for her Monday night show. And then Tuesday, back on Horror Tuesday, talking about Until Dawn. Both the video game and the movie adaptation that just came out. Leon is joining me. I think Blue, you're joining if you can. And then I think Enzo, maybe. We'll see. And then we're back here, guys. Next Thursday we continue with Last of Us. Blue's on that with me. And then Friday we're back here with the episode 9 season finale, season 2 finale of Stranger Things. So I got that all out in some way. You know where we're all at. Thank you, chat. You guys were awesome. If you're watching this on a replay, please do me a favor and leave me a comment. I don't care what you say, but just leave me. Help the algorithm. Help the algorithm.
In Bob we trust.
In Bob we trust. Justice for Bob.
If you made it this far in the video, comment in Bob we trust.
Yes, Bob we trust. And then, guys, that will be pretty much it. I hope you all have a great weekend. I'll see you back tomorrow for some of you, but if I don't, see you later, guys. Stay spooky. Bye.
Very well. See yous.